Welcome back to Scooby Algo Trades. It's been a while, probably about 6 months or more, and a lot has changed. Just going back to the Qlib thing, obviously, I think it's gotten cheaper now for one thing, and for another thing, I haven't done anything with it in a while. In fact, I deleted all the other things that I had before, but it's so much easier now. Apparently, Claude just told me to open up a new kind of code space in GitHub, which is what I did. And as you can see here, and it installed Qlib itself. I just gave it a prompt and I set up the extension Claude on in the Qlib code space. And then within that, I just told it to set up Qlib itself and accept all the permissions things. I put on auto mode there. And I told it to set up Qlib and do a backspace thing. I think it has done pretty much absolutely everything here already. Of course, the next thing I need to do is get it to do the RD-Agent, which I still need to give it the API key. So I have to go back into, and I think it can use Anthropic as well. I think I still have an Anthropic API key. So I'm going to go look for that and install that, and then hopefully get the RD-Agent working, particularly the fin factor thing. That was the main thing last time that we're trying to get working. Obviously, it probably still burned through the tokens, but maybe not as much as it used to. So we're going to come back to that. So here's the summary of what it actually did. It installed and set it up. Qlib US sample data it has there. It did do a mean reversion backtest. It did have a couple of bugs, and I think it fixed them. So I just told it to go and do everything itself. 11% total versus 568% EW benchmark. Momentum regime kills constrained contrarian strategy. Backtesting engine dropout strategy. Sharp 0.96. SPY benchmark. Native Qlib loop 944 days. Alpha models. Mean reversion. Risk models, 3 PCA factors explain the variance. Right, I'm not sure. Tesla, pure factor, J&J, Johnson & Johnson. Okay. EW wins, OOS, Max Sharp. Right, I'm not totally sure what all that means. Order execution, monthly rebalance costs, 40% turnover, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see. Files created. Mean version.py, Qlib backtest engine.py, alpha models.py, risk models.py, portfolio optimization, order execution.py. Pandas 2.3 incompatibility with Delta Frame custom patch required for a native Qlib backtest. Notable issues resolved. Sample data ends, and gym depreciation warning, cosmetic only. Nothing remaining. All requested features covered. If you want to go deeper, natural next step would be machine learning alpha model, light LGBM with Qlib dataset handlers, online learning, or the reinforcement learning execution model. So yeah, I think that's it. And obviously the RD-Agent, which is the fin factor model or whatever. So I'll come back when I have that set up, and hopefully, well, am I going to get all this done within an hour after spending months on this last time? That's crazy how much things have advanced. Okay, well, I'll be right back when that works, hopefully. Okay, I think we paused recording there. I think we're back to recording now. So I did ask it to set up the RD-Agent now, so that's what it's doing now. And Claude was kind of saying to set up a new session and just give it the summary and all that, but I just continued on and I said I have the API key there, which I do, and I'll paste that when it needs it. So it's installing RD-Agent now. I can see pip install. It might have issues with the different things. If I remember correctly, when I was slugging it out for months, there was compatibility issues with the other Pythons and stuff like that. So it's probably going to run into all those same issues and have to fix it itself, which it will be a hell of a lot more quicker than I was with it, I'm sure. So I'll just let that do all that and see how it goes with it. I have it to auto mode there, auto accept everything. I just told it to watch the tokens at 20,000 tokens to warn me or whatever, because I know the RD-Agent absolutely burns through them. You know, the fin model or whatever it's called, the fin factor function. So yeah, I guess I'll just leave it running through it here, because I don't know when it's going to be finished. I could pause it if this is boring, but obviously this is all part of the excitement for me, I suppose, that it's doing it all for me. You know, it was much more back and forth. If you watched any of the other videos, this is so much more automated than before. So here we are. It's doing the fin factor, Qlib factor, fin factor, Qlib factor, local Python. There it is. There's getting the new Python, I think. There is it. Reading in fin factor main loop. So this is the main kind of machine learning part of it. That was a kind of really important part of the thing last time, as it says here. It's called the LLM, yeah, Anthropic key. Yeah, that's the one. It uses AI to automatically discover and test new alpha factors or trading signals, rather than you having to hand code them. Essentially, it lets the AI figure out what predicts stock returns. The fin factor function is the entry point for that. It generates quantitative factors from financial data automatically. It actually is the most interesting part of the whole stack for your use case. If it works, it's a genuine AI researching trading strategies autonomously set up, not just backtesting rules you wrote yourself. When the current run hits its token wall, make sure the handoff prompt in the next chat. Next priority, get RD-Agent installed and test the fin factor function, which is the main goal. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah. So I'm just waiting it to ask for the key here. And then I'll paste that in. Obviously, I'll pause that bit. Actually, I'll pause it just here and I'll come back to you when hopefully it's working. I'll let you know any of the problems it came up against. I'll be amazed if this all just works in literally like an hour or two, compared to months if you see all the other videos before this on this channel. Again, this is Qlib, Microsoft Research tool. I'm just amazed how this is doing this all for me. It's absolutely incredible. As I mentioned before, I don't code or anything, so I know kind of a little bit, but very little. Okay, I pasted in the API key there. I remember all this. It's creating the .env file and the .h5 file and all this. So it did the .env. It's now generating the .h5 files. I remember I had real issues with that last time, so hopefully you'll find those bugs, whatever it was last time. It wasn't as easy as just doing it like it thinks it does. So unless it was fixed, yeah, let's see what it says. Fin factor expects data files that RD-Agent uses US Qlib data, Python generate RD-Agent. It's going to come up against that same bug, I presume, unless somebody fixed it, or unless I was doing it wrong, which may be the case last time as well, possibly. But it's so interesting to see this months and months later. And it's just flying through it so quick, where it took me like days and weeks and months. Okay, well, it has the API key now, so let's see if it actually pulls this off. Now testing the LLM config before running the full loop. Okay, this is interesting. Actioning. That's the most interesting part here. Actualizing. Calculating. So it's doing all of this inside the Codespace in GitHub. So it actually has all its own environment in here in GitHub. It's not even on my desktop or anything, which is fine. You know, Anthropic API works. Now test the Qlib factor scenario initialization. Great. Data files ready. Now test the LLM config. Yeah. Affecting. Quite amazing. I'd say it's going to hit a wall with the tokens. Maybe I should have created a new session, but I just wanted to continue on anyway. So in case it needed to remember anything from before, keep it in a loop, you know. Local environment. Oh, the conda. So it did conda for its local environment. That's good. Very interesting. Oh, it's setting up the new Python. Is it Python 3.12? It's doing all this in seconds. What took me months, weeks and months. Again, bold, style, local environment. All right, I'll be back with some results, hopefully. I'll just pausing this here again. Right, needs new conda environment, patch get factor env to use local conf with the right bin path. So the current Python is not conda. So I think this is something like the problem that I was having. Remember, I was testing the actual Qlib, which was running fine, and then when it was running RD-Agent, it required something different. So I think this is what it's doing now. So it's finding its own way of doing this here, I think. I think I had trouble with that as well, getting them both to work. I think they kind of worked on both different sort of environments. So hopefully this will figure that out. Or it might just test one on one environment and, you know, have the other one running on the other one. And that's what I think I was having real trouble with as well, wasn't I? Having them both working together or something. Anyway, it seems to be trying to sort that out now. Check now, get factor env is imported in factor experiment. All right, I'll be right back and I'll let you know how that goes. All right, it says it's working. Scenario initialized. Anthropic API connected. Data loaded. First LLM call happening. Let me run the full first loop without a timeout. So bash run RD-Agent, fin factor, full loop with filtered output. All right. Wow, this is like, I think this is less than an hour from setting the whole thing up from scratch. Claude just ripping through it here. I'm absolutely amazed. And all the faffing around I did. It's great to know kind of like what it's doing. Like I can remember a little bit of what's going on here. The grep E command here, loop, step, hypothesis, factor, proposed code, run, feedback, error, warning, result. Okay, it's getting some errors. That's fine. It'll figure it out, I'm sure. And local environment default entry, Python main, not Py. I had to add that, I think. So there was a problem with a path, with some sort of pathway there. Anyway, it seems to be doing it. 1 second, I'm just gonna put some electrolytes in my water. Electrolytes, right? Electrolytes are important. Okay, it still says it's working here. Ruminating. RD-Agent.py, same thing. Okay, it's doing something. RD-Agent. Co-steer, knowledge management, co-steer, graph loaded, size. RD-Agent is running. Hypothesis generated. Simple price, momentum, and volume factors as baseline. Now coding and executing. Let me monitor the log. Oh my God, this is amazing. So if this is running that means I could actually probably use this now, like really in my trading. So I haven't stopped trading. Hold on, I'll put the water over so we're safe. Never put liquids near your computer. So to update you, what I've been doing is I've been moving slowly to slower trading. I don't know if I mentioned before that I used to do day trading. I think I did. I think I gave you a little history on that. And I've been moving ever so slower to swing trading, which has been working a little bit. So every couple of months, when it gets a little bit higher, whatever stock, I don't want to get into specifics just yet, but whatever stock, whatever you choose, I've just been taking it off every couple of months when it does well or whatever, and then re-entry or whatever. Okay. And then also looking at some dividend stocks, nothing too crazy, just very simple stuff and diversification, basically really boring stuff. So, being used to day trading, like $100 win or even a $50 win is so much more exciting than earning 5,000 or 10,000 on these slow stocks. So day trading is much more fun and it's much more active, and it feels like you're doing a lot more work. However, by the end of the year, the slower, more boring trading seems to win out as consistently more profitable. Uh, Unfortunately, because I do really enjoy day trading and picking stocks and stuff. So I might be able to do that as an hour attached onto the day or something, as on the side or something. So I'd like to really kind of hone that skill so I could do it a lot better. It's because it was mainly trying to uh, maintain, try to not be so impulsive basically on that one. So I think if you're only doing it an hour a day, I think that would be okay. I think so. Day trading, I think it just depends on your personality or what's good. Day trading could work for you. I don't know, but it is getting harder anyway. So we're getting runtime errors here. FT-agent run log dev null hypothesis factor result score feedback error, another error. So yeah, I told you this is going to come up with the errors, right? Because simple price momentum. So now coding and executing. Let me monitor the log. So I think it's coming up with more errors here. So I'll pause it here again and I'll come back with more. But that's basically where I'm at with the trading. Still trading, but and seems to be more successfully and more consistent, but a lot more boring. So, but yeah, doing some options as well. I can cover them later as well. Options trading, also doing that. So doing it all, which is great. Options trading, hopefully add day trading in again, more swing trading, investing, derivative, or what do you call it? Not derivatives, well, derivatives as well, but what are they called? Dividends, and also hopefully automated trading now, and hopefully this will work now as well. The Qlib, if we can get it working with the automated trading possibly, and I'll be doing it all. We'll be trading everything, and maybe on this channel then I'll get into it in more detail. If you're interested, please do comment below and do give the thumbs up on that because it really does help. And if this is your thing, let me know, because I know there's people who's been researching Qlib who have watched this channel and I never said anything, and I've commented on their channels, especially guys in India and stuff, and they never said anything. It's like, come on, we're all in this together, guys, but yeah, don't want to communicate. All right, up to you. It's all about helping one another, surely. All right, be right back. All right, it says after factor code runs, the knowledge graph tries to create embeddings. Needs an embedding API. Fix with local embedding patch. Pip install sentence transformers quiet to something tail. Okay, I hope I don't need another API for something else. Create embeddings. Needs an embedding API. Well, maybe it's going to get it for free somewhere. A free API somewhere. Maybe it's going to grab one itself or something. Hopefully I don't have to pay for another one. This could be just for displaying certain things, maybe. Hopefully, transformers. I think that's another machine learning thing. So maybe it needs to get an API for a machine learning model or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's doing here. But again, let's just see if we can get this working. Pip install sentence transformers. Okay, I don't really remember doing that one, I don't think. Command running in background with ID. Some output is being written to temporary Claude workspace. Okay, I do remember workspace as being a thing. Knowledge management vector base .py. All right, we'll let that continue for a while. Be right back. Okay, quick update. Sentence transformers installed. Now add local embedding patch to the runner. So it's adding RD-Agent utils, API backend as API backend, local create something. Okay, I think I remember doing something like that. I remember I did actually get it working last time. I just wanted it not to be so expensive. So whatever it's doing, it's probably doing similar to stuff to what I did. Now, mind you, it was AI that was helping me then anyway, but this is just doing it automatically rather than me copy and pasting everything. And so validation is too strict for Claude's richer outputs, adding a patch to relax this. Wow. Validation is too strict. I don't know what that means. Test RD-Agent with relaxed validation patch. Okay. I wonder what the hell that means. I'm going to have to... Let me just copy paste that just so I can understand it a bit better into the other Claude. There hasn't been a hell of a lot of updates on YouTube on RD-Agent and stuff. There's one or two new videos. I'll go and have a look at them. It's been such a long time since I looked into this world. But anyway, that seems to be still trying to work on that there. So I'll be right back and I'll get you a reason for whatever the hell that means. Yeah, it says it here. That's a good spot. It's an interesting one because RD-Agent was originally built to work with OpenAI's outputs. Yeah, that's why I didn't get this before, because I was working with OpenAI, which tend to be clean and predictable in structure. Claude's responses are richer, meaning Claude often adds extra context, nuance, or slightly different JSON structure that OpenAI would. So what's happening? RD-Agent expects the LLM, language learning model, to return a very specific format. A simple dict string, basically a plain dictionary where every key and value is a string, nothing else. Claude returns something slightly more complex, maybe nested structures, extra fields, or formatted text, where a plain string was expected. Type adapter is a pydantic validation tool. It's checking the output strictly and rejecting anything that doesn't match exactly. The patch to relax this means the agent rewrote that validation to be more lenient, accept Claude's richer output rather than rejecting it. In plain terms, RD-Agent was expecting OpenAI to answer in a very rigid format. Claude answered in a more elaborate way, and the validator needed to be loosened to accept it. Worth noting this patch for your records if you ever rerun this from scratch in a fresh codespace. That fix will need to be reapplied. Did the agent save it to one of the Python files, or was it just applied in memory? I don't know. Anyway, so it's continuing on here. Replacing a lot more code here. Run RD-Agent.py. Another thing, so it has to do LLM settings, more more fixing stuff. I do remember fixing a lot of stuff to get it working. So, I was surprised that I got it working last time. Remember, it was working and then it wasn't working, then it was, and then it was just too expensive. So I was trying to fix it to be like cheaper by working, so I could trying to implement it with the Chinese model LLM, whatever that was called. What's it called? Dark Cloud, the one with the whale, whatever. Anyway, it should be cheaper now anyway, hopefully, with Anthropic. It's coming towards the end of the tokens here, but it looks at 2% of context meaning remaining until auto compact. Oh, yeah, I should have started a new session. Oh, dear. 98% context uses. Uh-oh, click to compact. Hold on a second. This might run out of tokens. All right, so because it's reaching 100% of its context window, we're at risk of it forgetting what it's done already, losing its memory. So it can lose track of the patches it's applied earlier, and it can start going in circles and redoing some of the things. It can still You can still execute commands just fine. It just means that its conversation memory is full. It might start losing track. It might repeat work it's already done or lose track of patches applied. If it starts going in circles or redoing things, that's our signal to grab a summary and start afresh. So I've asked it for a summary there. Otherwise, it said just let it go. So I've asked it to summarize just in case for the next one, but I have to give it like a minute or so to respond to that request. But otherwise, it's running on 100%. Yeah, I should have started a new session probably, but we'll just let it continue. Hopefully, it doesn't start looping or something. I've asked it to summarize everything anyway, so we might be able to try a new session. That's the problem. The context is not too big. The memory. How do we increase context? That's what I should ask. All right, be right back. All right, I think luckily for us, it has compacted chat auto, which is 167,000 tokens freed. So I think we can actually continue on this now. Now let me check the current state of the run 5 and the workspace. Bash RD-Agent run log tail qrun results research qd-agent runs loop 0 completed. The ML flow file system error hit during qrun. Let me see the full picture around steps 2 and 3. Find key events, run bash mflow error context and step transitions checks. The fix is clear. mflow allow file store qrun baseline. Check a workspace subfolder contents. Inspecting workspace folder. Yeah, I remember workspace being a bit of an issue as well. I kind of can't believe that I fixed this last time myself as well. Just when it was coming up with errors and figuring out how to do it myself, like what was the issues? CN data, yeah, there was issues with that. I remember that as well. So it's looking for the Chinese market data, the path of least resistance to download, Qlib's Chinese sample data. Yeah, there was something wrong with that data as well. So let me see if it figures this one out. or will it find some other data itself? Oh, this is so interesting to watch. It really is. Maybe not for you, but you know, for me, with all the stuff I've gone through with Qlib here. Anyway, it looks like the context thing is fixed, so I think it can continue now. Hopefully, I'll come back with more when it's progressed. Hopefully. Yeah, it looks like it figured out that data doesn't work. So it says session needs 2 fixes: switch to US data and ML flow allow file store equals true. So it's doing that now. We're at 92% of the session limit. So I'm going to have to ask it to do a summary, I think, here again. Okay, I've got a handoff here that I can use for a new chat, but the session limit is reached basically. It's 95%, but it resets in 2 hours. So by the magic of video recording, it should be 2 hours now in 1 second after I pause this. And there you go. It's magically 2 hours later. And it is, I just tipped it off that I can check for any data corruption in the files because I looked back at some of my videos about that. And I also said that it can maybe run a health check as well, but that may have only been to do with Docker. I'm not sure. But anyway, it says it's already default, no change. It said started fresh RD-Agent run with all fixes applied. So apparently it's trying again here. I just told it to continue. Actually, I didn't need to open up a new chat, I don't think. So yeah, hopefully they'll come up with some results here. We'll see. Once you get this working, I might be able to integrate it into an automated bot or something. I'm not really sure. No, well, probably not. This is more of a research tool, really. We'll figure it out. We'll do something with it. All right, so you can't necessarily see Qlib or RD-Agent running here, but it gives a report here that loop 0 complete. The baseline alpha 158 only. I think that's kind of a group of shares. Combined alpha 158 and custom factors. LLM feedback step 3, simple momentum volume factors have minimal predictive power, IC barely above 0. The hypothesis is largely refuted. Next hypothesis generated, risk adjusted momentum, momentum realized volatility, amyhood illiquidity ratio, price impact by volume, and volatility ratio, short-term versus long-term realized volume. Factors that account for risk dimension missing in simple signals. Step 0, hypothesis. Step 1, 6 factors coded, validated. Step 2, baseline YAML run conf combined factors, both succeeded. Step 3, LLM feedback and hypothesis for loop 2. The combined IC matching the baseline is expected. The custom factors were trained only in 50 debug instruments, so they barely overlapped with the SP500 training data. To see factor improvements, set factor co-steer data follow debug and use instrument full or increase loop to the new risk-adjusted factors. To run more loops, run RD-Agent under. So that's where it is at the moment. All right, so apparently this next run is going to take some time, but it basically told me to continue with the thing here. I'll give it the prompt that is suggested. So we'll put it in here in Claude code here. There it is there. We basically continue RD-Agent. It says here in the workspaces, run line 182, change the loop. In .env, change factor co-steer debug instrument, run the Python. And anyway, so here it is. I can show you very quickly there. Okay. So you can pause that and read that if you really want to see. And that's the prompt I gave it. So it's running all of that stuff. And next I'm going to see how to implement it into work. This is going to take probably an hour or two maybe. So I'll come back when that's done. Okay, so the plan is here on the next video, you might see some better implementation of this, but basically this seems to be working, hopefully. Whatever we're doing, we need to just train it on better data then. And so my other AI here, my Genius Buddy market research AI, is telling me that it's going to cost about this much, about $6 to $10 to run it, say, every Sunday night. Okay, and that will give us ideas and whatever entries or whatever. But he's saying that's basically for nothing on an institutional level for having a, quantitative research analyst running factor discovery every week, So about 20 to 30 bucks every month, ish, and we'll run it maybe every Sunday night. It'll give us some ideas and things. And that's it. I think from now on, we're just going to run RD-Agent like this. After we're going to train it on some good data first, hopefully. We might use Yahoo Finance. We might use something else. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. Can't believe I got it working in half a day or whatever. And now it's gonna take a few hours to run through this. If I have time, I'll show you the result. If not, then that's the end of this video. If it takes a little too long, because I'm going to go back into the markets now myself and do some other stuff. All right. So bye for now. See you in the next one. Scooby-Doo. Well, just before you go, it did finish really quickly. And here are all 3 loops complete. Here is the full report. RD-Agent, fin factor, 3 loop results, infrastructure, model, Claude, Sonnet, LLM, Anthropic, data, 640 SP500 instruments, 2015 to 2020, 100% instrument overlap with training, qrun LGB model on Alpha 158, SP500 universe, test period 2018 to 2020. IC scores, which is information coefficient, measures how well a factor actually predicts future stock. And here are the IC scores, Alpha 158 only. We got 003234, 9.2, max drawdown 50%. We got a lot of drawdowns here. Loop 0, right, we got 334, 334, 334, minus 9.2. They're not very good. The qrun model IC for the combined run prints 00272, slightly lower, but Qlib report because picks the latest recorder, which ends up matching the base unit. The custom factors are not degrading performance, but also not improving it. They're a neutral noise that LightGBM early stops around. Hypothesis evolution, the LLM's research path. After loop zero feedback, risk adjusted the volatility, normalized factors will provide stronger predictability, Bollinger Band position, price relative to bandwidth, volatility. Loop one hypothesis, relative strength momentum. After loop one feedback, volume price interaction longer term. So loop two hypothesis. Then after loop two feedback, volatility, adjusted momentum, and liquidity stress. What this shows, this hypothesis evolution is key output, loop zero, simple momentum, loop one, risk adjusted technical skills, loop two, price volume, microstructure, loop three. Next would be Amihud illiquidity. This mirrors how a quant researcher would iteratively explore the factor space. The IC stays flat at 003334 because one alpha 158 already has 158 well-crafted US markets that cover most of what these custom factors measure, and the factors use 2015 to 2020 data where standard momentum mean reversion signals have weak standalone signal. To see IC improvement, you'd want factors that are complementary to alpha 158. The Amihud illiquidity hypothesis queued for loop 4 is a good candidate since alpha 158 doesn't include a direct illiquidity measure. All right, so that's the results. And as I said, it's a little bit cheaper now. It's not $20 to do a whole thing. It's maybe about $5 to $6, okay? We're going to train this as best as we can on real data, wherever we get it from. We might just use Yahoo for the moment or whatever and see how we get on with that. There we go. It's working through this. I can't see the whole output, but we can do all fancy graphs and stuff if we need to later on. We can code that in. But yeah, there we go. Working after day. After months and months of me doing this last year, it just did it in a few hours for me, the Claude code inside of GitHub, using the extension for Claude and an API, and just told it to go to town and sort it out, and it did. Absolutely incredible. I love it. I love the future. All right, thanks again. See you in the next video. Hope this helps somebody out there. Qlib actually working by the looks of it. All right, I'm going to go figure it out, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it every week now. I'm going to use it. And it's going to cost about, I don't know, $20, $30 a month. And we'll see what it comes out with. And I'll put the video here, and I'll let you know the results. Hopefully you can make some money. All right, so see you next time. Here we go. Scooby-Doo.